guys, thank you so much for joining me in another video. So as you can tell based on the title, today I really want to talk about Bottega Veneta. I want to talk about the latest Bottega Veneta bag, just kind of my overall thoughts on what I've been seeing from Bottega. I follow this Instagram account called style.com. I'm just an old school millennial. I just like to follow Instagram stuff still. They were just posting about it. I saw all of these articles from like all these fashion sites posting about this, and I'm like, is this gonna be like the new Bottega It bag? And I want to look at some of the advertising materials around it. I wanted to see how the bag was advertised, the branding around the bag, what's this about, right? So this is called the Andiamo bag. I'm so sorry for mispronouncing this. I know someone's gonna correct me in the comments, feel free. Apparently it's available in 3 different sizes in 7 different colorways. It's very much positioned to be like a new bag for this season. It's supposed to be about like this idea of movement, the sensation of movement. It means let's go in Italian. I just looked at Matthieu Blazy's Instagram, so I'm just gonna reference what I'm looking at right here. We see these women in motion. I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to like post the sound, but you hear like background noises, car noises, swooshing noises. It's very much like the modern city, right?
For most of us, when we get double messages, we get to pick one.
Okay, just keep on walking down the street, and then my car is at the very end. Just walk down, right here, right here. Right here. Right here. This one. This one. Yeah. Okay, we're here, guys.
I love you.
Yeah, you get this sense of people in motion. There's this like Vivaldi like flute style music. It's like figures in a town square, sort of like the beauty and like the ordinary. It feels very Phoebe Philo-esque. But there's something a little bit warmer about this collection. Something about Phoebe Philo felt very like cold, and just kind of like the color choices, the set choices, the advertising campaigns. A lot of her collections did feel that way. This is very warm, it's very welcoming. Matthieu Blazy is looking at the beauty and like the everyday, the beauty and the ordinary. There's sort of this like maturity. And when we look at some of the people that are wearing Matthieu Blazy's Bottega, we see like Michelle Obama, she's, you know, wearing this. There was that like viral image of Margot Robbie where there was this juxtaposition between her wearing Chanel and her wearing Bottega, and it was sort of how terrible she looked in Chanel and how unhappy she looked in Chanel. But I think Bottega is trying to position itself as this long-lasting, high-quality, timeless type of brand, but it's also modern in the same way. It's not your mother's Bottega. And part of me is like, oh my gosh, like I love a lot of themes around this new era of Bottega. You know, maybe I should get like a Bottega bag. Like I should get something from this era. Then this bag came out, and it's very much like sort of the square, rectangular type of tote, like very classic looking shape. And it looks like it's supposed to be in motion. You see these women walking, and maybe they're carrying multiple bags. And when you look at this bag, it is very attractive. It is very classic looking. It's not overly trendy. What's nice about it is it does have like that top handle strap, so you can wear it like in sort of a professional like work type of way, or you can wear it with like the strap going in between places, so that idea of motion, right? But I think the thing that gets me about this bag is I might need to try this on in person, but when I look at that crossbody strap or that shoulder strap, it makes me think it's going to be painful. Like I could be wrong. That looks like something that's going to dig into your shoulder. This is a new bag, so it's something you have to see in person, but that's kind of my issue with this bag. Like it looks that could dig into your shoulder, but I could be wrong. As someone that would wear like this type of bag, right? Like this is super comfortable. This is like a vintage Bottega bag, super comfortable on the shoulder with the strap, very wearable. It's thick, it's nice, it's wide enough to be worn with a coat. That's why this is like a great bag, and a lot of people really like the Jodi, the larger Jodi variations, because it's super comfortable on the body. Another reason why a lot of people are pausing on Bottega is this leather, right? So this is like a lambskin leather. It's really like soft leather, right? And while this bag has held up really beautifully. Like there's just this fear of how is this leather going to hold up. The beauty about Bottega's new strategy is they have like the certificate of craft, basically like a lifetime warranty on these bags. They're trying to say like, hey, like these bags are meant to last forever, and if not, you can get them fixed. And I think that is a beautiful thing, and that is what luxury should be doing. While it does have that like square rectangular structure, which is professional looking, and you can use it for things like laptops, folders, like whatever. I do wonder how this bag would get corner wear on it. Like that's kind of another thing I think about. Again, Bottega does have that certificate where you can get your bags repaired. Do you want to get your bag repaired all the time? Here's my thing with it, almost feels like sort of like everyday luxury, right? Like this everyday genre of fashion. Like when we look at, you know, a brand like Jill Sander was about the purity of fashion and like representing like fashion in kind of like this honest way, to when we look at like Phoebe Philo, which was a brand about like the modern working woman and sort of the complexities from Phoebe Philo's like personal perspective as a working woman, a mom, creative director, wife, the complexity of what being a woman is and kind of like representing that through her personal style and fashion. And even when you just look at like the Olsen twins, right? Like that discreet, under the radar, like super high luxury, like insanely expensive but premium quality of materials, which is a representation of their personal style. When I look at brands that do this kind of type of luxury, I want to know, like my question is, and maybe this is something we will see in later collections, is what is Matthieu Blazy's personal style or vision? And maybe through each collection we'll see more of it. One thing that we have been seeing is this theme of like movement, it seems. I've been trying to like read up on Matthieu Blazy more. This guy has had an insanely extensive resume. He's worked under Nicolas Ghesquier at Balenciaga. He worked under Raf Simons. He's worked under John Galliano. He's worked under Phoebe Philo at Celine. And then he was Daniel Lee's right-hand man at Bottega. So this guy definitely super experienced, super curious to see this direction of this brand, what his era of Bottega is. I guess just to me, it's just maybe not as like concrete and clear, yet it kind of feels like when you look at his collections, there's a lot of variety and there's a lot of different things and there's a lot of different options. So from a commercial perspective, he has a lot to offer. But there was something about when you buy something from a collection and you kind of like know what that collection is about. And what I mean by that is like when you look at Phoebe Philo's collections, just as an example, she was someone that was interested in this concept of like the modern person. She had this one collection that was about like movement, right? And specifically it was about like women in cars, the way women felt in cars, like the power that they felt when they were in a car, when they were driving a car, the power they felt when they slammed a car. For that whole collection, it was just about cars, the interiors of cars, the motion of like buckling a car. You took this very like simple idea and you've abstracted it into like be this like whole collection about like women in cars and the power they feel. And it's not that Matthieu Blazy needs to do that exactly, but I just want to know like what is this collection trying to say other than people in motion? I don't know, like maybe I just want something more. Like if I'm gonna buy something from a Bottega collection, like I just want to know like what that collection is about. If I'm just gonna buy something that is about quality, because I think that's what they're really trying to own in on, like the quality of this brand. There's so many other brands that do quality as well. At, you know, Bottega price points, maybe just spend a little bit more on your ad Hermes. Like that's kind of just my logic, even just in terms of ready to wear, right? If I'm gonna buy a coat, would I buy a coat from Bottega or would I go to Burberry? Or maybe I could just go to another Italian brand like Max Mara or get stuff from like Brunello Cucinelli or Loro Piana. When it comes to this genre of like everyday luxury for the modern woman that is also timeless at the same time, there needs to be some form of artistic vision is kind of what I'm trying to say here. Like there needs to be some vision of what the creative director is saying. And you just look at brands like The Road to like Old Celine to even like Jill Sander, even like Raf Simons at Jill Sander, right? When you look at those collections, you are buying a piece from like this collection. That's what I want from Matthieu Blazy. And I haven't felt that yet, but maybe I will. Maybe I will change my mind. That's my thought on Matthieu Blazy's Bottega. Do I like the overall aesthetic? Yes. And could I see myself buying something? Yes. I don't think I'm going to go for this handbag. I would love to know your thoughts on Matthieu Blazy's Bottega. Is this something you are going to be buying from? I'm going to be totally honest. There hasn't been a piece that has sparked my interest yet. I don't want to say I'm not going to buy anything from his like era. I'm just waiting for like the right piece to speak to me, and I'm waiting for the collection to speak to me, because that's ultimately like why we are spending crazy prices. Why we buy something from a particular luxury brand. Like it's more than just buying a nice sweater from Loro Piana. Like we want to buy something that feels a little bit more artistic in some sense. Would love to know your thoughts, and if you plan on buying anything from Matthieu Blazy's era of Bottega. Would love to know, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.